US President Donald Trump says there's a good chance the war in Ukraine can end after talks with Moscow. Olga Olenikova is a Ukrainian expat, now a senior lecturer at the University of Technology, Sydney. She joins us now. Olga, welcome to the program. There's great scepticism, especially, I note, from Vladimir Zelensky about whether President Putin will make this deal. What are your expectations about the demands that the Russians will place on it?
Good morning. Well, it feels there is some progress. As Zelensky said as well, there is hopefully a good chance, that the deal can be made. We can see now that, the decision now or steps that needs to be made forward have to come from the Russian side. So some of the main demands from the Russian side is, that Ukraine will not be part of NATO, that Russia will take over these 4 regions that they claimed ownership of couple of, half a year ago, basically, and they want a limited army resource in Ukraine. There's also some discussions around, the upcoming elections that they want to see possibly someone else, Zelensky as a head of state of Ukraine. Again, there's a list of these demands. As we see now, U.S. representative is now in Moscow trying put some pressure on Putin or try to negotiate some of these conditions. Hopefully, Russia will make some positive decisions to give up some of their demands. We'll see what U.S. will be doing. Again, it takes time for these deals to happen. It was over-optimistic to make sure that there is any type of proposal that becomes to life that Trump wanted to achieve within 2 months' time. We can see that it just takes much, much longer.
Yes, we've heard Vladimir Putin say that he'd be prepared to spare Ukrainian lives in the seized Russian region of Kursk if, and this was his condition, if they surrendered. Is that something, do you think, Olga, that the Ukrainian government would agree to?
Look, Russia is getting some significant gains in Ukrainian territory at the moment, and they almost are pushing out Ukrainian forces out of Kursk region. So Russia is having a strong hand in this situation on the battlefield at the moment. That's why, it's hard to understand what Russia wants. Maybe they want potentially to push all the forces, Ukraine forces, out of Kursk region before the ceasefire deal can be signed. It depends. So we'll be looking at it and watching, what happens in Kursk region. There's a lot of Ukrainian forces that are not in a good position there. So sparing lives, making sure Ukrainian guys and ladies who are there as medical and assistants and who are on the battlefield, that they have the chance, to actually stay alive and return potentially back to Ukraine after this deal hopefully will be signed.
Yes, of course. Now, if that happens, there are clearly preparations being made by other Western nations here, Olga, and that involves even Anthony Albanese in a phone hookup this evening with European nations about some sort of coalition of the willing. Do you believe, I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but do you believe that would be a risk-free security operation, keeping peace in Ukraine between Ukrainian and Russian forces?
That's a challenge, first of all, to keep it for a short-term period, like they're discussing 30-day ceasefire. There's definitely a need for longer, long-term peace with security guarantees. As we're hearing from Zelensky, he's now saying that he got the security guarantees that he was looking for from the European partners. Plus, Australia as well, plays a good role in this. They were always on the Ukrainian side and, offering support in various forms. So it looks like Zelensky, at least from what we can hear, he got the security guarantees that he wants to for Ukraine. So now it's basically on the Russian side, to make some concessions and show the world that they want peace, that they want to finish this. And I want to be optimistic. I hope that, US can apply some pressure, on Russia, and they can, give up some of the conditions. So Ukraine can, so there can be some peace and there can be the end to this horrific tragedy which is unfolding for the last 3 years in Ukraine.